Today's documentary, The $100 million Vanishing, Varig Flight 967. A silence began at 2023 over the darkest, deepest waters on Earth. The last routine radio call from Varig Flight 967 crackled into the Tokyo Air Traffic Control Center. Good night. Then, nothing. The Boeing 707 cargo jet vanished from radar screens as if swallowed whole by the night. No mayday, no distress signal. Just the empty, static hiss of a vast ocean and a mystery that, to this day, refuses to surrender its secrets. On January 30th, 1979, a plane and its six-man crew disappeared, taking with them 153 masterpieces and sparking a legend. To understand the magnitude of what was lost, we must first meet the man whose life's work was soaring through that winter night. Manabu Mabe was a living bridge between continents and cultures. Born in Japan, he emigrated to Brazil as a child of the coffee plantations. His hands knew the rough soil of Sao Paulo before they ever held a brush. But within him burned a fierce, untutored passion for color and form. He rose from the fields to become a titan of the Brazilian abstract and formalist movement. By 1979, Mabe was at the peak of his powers. The 153 works on Flight 967 represented a monumental exhibition's worth, a career retrospective in transit. They were valued at over $1.2 million then. The flight plan was a marathon of modern commerce. Varig Flight 967 lifted off from Narita Airport in Tokyo on a cold January afternoon. At the controls was 53-year-old Captain Gilberto Araújo da Silva, a veteran with over 17,000 flight hours. His crew included First Officer Ernie Pixoto Mira and Flight Engineer Nicola Exposito. The first leg to Los Angeles was uneventful. The plane landed, was refueled with 70 tons of jet fuel, and its precious artistic cargo was secured alongside other freight. At 1927 Pacific Standard Time, the heavily laden jet roared down the runway at LAX and turned its nose towards the infinite black of the Pacific. The weather briefing was ominous, but not catastrophic. A front with turbulence awaited them near Japan. They were flying into the belly of a storm. For the next few hours, radio contact was routine. The plane reported passing various waypoints. Then, as it approached the mid-Pacific, about 30 minutes from its scheduled contact with Tokyo Control, the transmissions took on a subtle, troubling tone. At 20:05, Captain Da Silva requested a climb from 35,000 to 37,000 feet to escape building turbulence. Permission was granted. It was the last normal exchange. 18 minutes later, at 20:23, the crew made that final, chillingly calm, good-night sign-off. Radar paint showed the aircraft turning slightly, then the blip simply faded away. When Tokyo Control tried to raise them for their next scheduled call, there was only silence. The clock began ticking. At first, it was procedural concern. Then, as minutes stretched into an hour past their estimated arrival in the radio zone, concern curdled into alarm. By dawn on January 31st, the world knew a Boeing 707 was missing in the most remote stretch of ocean on the planet. Thus began one of the most extensive multinational sea and air searches in Pacific history. The United States Coast Guard, the U.S. Navy, the Japanese Maritime Safety Agency, and even Soviet vessels joined the hunt. They scoured a search area of over 200,000 square kilometers of heaving ocean, an expanse larger than many countries. The conditions were brutal. This was the notorious region near the Izu Islands, where the Pacific plunges to depths of over 10,000 meters. Day after day, aircraft scanned the white-capped waves. Ships crisscrossed the grid. They found almost nothing. The ocean yielded no oil slick, no floating debris field, no seat cushions, no recognizable wreckage. Then, a week after the disappearance, a glimmer of hope, or perhaps deeper mystery, surfaced. A Japanese search vessel recovered a single, salt-caked life jacket. It was unmistakably from a Varig Boeing 707. It was the only physical evidence ever found. This solitary artifact raised more questions than it answered. With no black boxes, no wreckage, the investigation plunged into the realm of theory. The first theory was catastrophic mechanical failure. The 707 was flying through severe turbulence associated with the jet stream. Could sudden, extreme clear air turbulence have torn the aircraft apart? Yet veteran pilots questioned this. Debris always surfaces. The sheer absence of wreckage was anomalous, haunting. Then, the shadow of human intervention fell across the case. Attention turned to Captain Gilberto da Silva. He was a respected pilot, but investigators learned he had recently undergone significant personal and financial stress. Was Flight 967 a case of pilot suicide? The theory suggested he might have deliberately depressurized the cabin, incapacitating the crew. But colleagues and family fiercely rejected this, painting Da Silva as a dedicated professional who would never sacrifice his crew. The theory remained a stigmatizing, unresolved whisper. But the most tantalizing theory was the art heist of the century. The cargo's value was astronomical and widely known. Could the disappearance have been an elaborate theft? Conspiracy theorists posited scenarios worthy of a spy novel: a mid-air rendezvous, a forced landing on a remote island, the paintings swapped for worthless copies. The human cost of the mystery was profound and personal. In Brazil and Japan, 6 families were plunged into a limbo of grief without closure. For Manabu Mabe, the loss was a crippling blow. A significant portion of his recent output, his vibrant children, were gone. The legacy of Varig Flight 967 echoed far beyond the art galleries. It exposed glaring gaps in aviation safety and tracking. The mystery left an indelible mark on the psyche of aviation. It joined the ranks of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 as a testament to the ocean's power to keep secrets. Every few years, the story resurfaces as new sonar technologies or deep-sea expeditions promise answers, but the trench guards its secret. Why does this story, over 4 decades old, still fascinate? It is the perfect storm of mystery, high value, a vanishing act, and competing narratives. The ghost flight of Varig 967 is a riddle written on water, a painting drawn in invisible ink across the Pacific sky. The ocean answered with a single life jacket and a silence that endures, a silence that continues to whisper of fortune, fate, and a fortune that may still lie in the deep, waiting for a light that may never come. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to our channel. We bring you fascinating documentaries on history, science, civilizations, mysteries, and the untold stories that shaped our world. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a new release. See you in the next one.